I, 24F, got kicked out of my house by my toxic family and now I live on the street. Hey, Reddit. I never thought I'd be posting something like this, but I feel like I need to share my story and maybe get some advice. This is going to be a long one, so bear with me. A little background about me: I'm 24, female, and have always had a strained relationship with my family. Growing up, I was the black sheep. My parents favored my older brother and sister, and I always felt like I was an outsider in my own home. It wasn't just favoritism, it was emotional and sometimes physical abuse. They constantly belittled me, made me feel worthless, and blamed me for everything that went wrong. I tried to escape by focusing on school and eventually got a scholarship to a decent college. But even then, my family's toxicity followed me. They never supported me financially or emotionally. I had to work multiple part-time jobs to support myself through school. I graduated last year and managed to get a job as a junior graphic designer. It didn't pay much, but it was a start. A few months ago, I lost my job due to company downsizing. I had no savings, thanks to student loans and living expenses, so I had to move back in with my family. It was supposed to be temporary, just until I found another job and could get back on my feet. But things quickly went downhill. My parents made it clear that I was a burden. They charged me rent I couldn't afford, refused to help me with food, and constantly reminded me that I was a failure. They'd lock the fridge and pantry, so I had to sneak food when they weren't around. My brother and sister joined in on the torment, making my life a living hell. 2 weeks ago, things hit a breaking point. I had an interview lined up for a promising job, and I was feeling hopeful. The night before, my parents accused me of stealing money from them, which I didn't. They screamed at me, called me names, and my dad even slapped me. I tried to defend myself, but they didn't listen. They told me to get out and never come back. I packed a bag with some clothes, my laptop, and a few personal items. I left with no money, no place to go, and no idea what to do. I ended up sleeping in a park that night, scared and alone. For the past 2 weeks, I've been living on the streets, trying to survive. I've been staying in shelters when I can, but they're often full, and it's not always safe. I've been looking for jobs, but it's hard without a permanent address or reliable internet access. I've managed to do some freelance graphic design work, but it's not enough to get me off the streets. I'm constantly worried about my safety and my future. I feel so hopeless and alone. I guess I'm posting this because I don't know what else to do. I need advice, support, anything. How do I get out of this situation? How do I find a job and a place to live when I have nothing? Has anyone else been through something similar? How did you make it through? Thanks for reading, and sorry for the long post. Any advice or support would mean the world to me right now. Update: a glimmer of hope. Hey, Reddit. It's been a few weeks since my last post, and I wanted to give you an update on what's been happening. First of all, I want to thank everyone who reached out with advice, support, and kind words. You have no idea how much it meant to me during such a dark time. After my initial post, a lot of things happened. I received countless messages from people offering help, whether it was financial assistance, job leads, or just a listening ear. One message in particular stood out. It was from a woman named Sarah who runs a non-profit organization that helps homeless youth get back on their feet. She offered to meet with me and discuss how they could help. I met with Sarah the next day. She was incredibly kind and understanding. She listened to my story without judgment and immediately took action. She got me into a safe women's shelter where I didn't have to worry about my safety or being turned away due to overcrowding. The shelter had resources to help with job searches, resume building, and even offered some basic necessities that I was lacking. With a safe place to stay and regular access to the internet, I could focus more on finding a job. Sarah also connected me with a therapist who offered free counseling sessions. Talking to someone about my experiences and my family's abuse was a huge relief. It felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. Within a week, I managed to secure a few more freelance graphic design gigs, which helped me get some money together. I applied for several jobs, and finally, I got an interview at a small design firm. Thanks to the resources and support I had at the shelter, I was able to prepare and present myself well. I got the job. I started working last week. It's a junior position, but it pays enough for me to save up and eventually get my own place. The people at the firm are friendly and supportive, and I already feel like I'm part of a team. For the first time in a long time, I feel hopeful about my future. I've also started taking online courses to improve my skills and make myself more marketable. Sarah's nonprofit covered the costs, and I'm determined to make the most of this opportunity. I'm slowly rebuilding my life, one step at a time. As for my family, I've decided to cut all ties with them. It was a hard decision, but I realized that I need to focus on my own well-being and future. They've hurt me enough, and I deserve better. I'm working on setting boundaries and surrounding myself with positive, supportive people. One last thing, I've started volunteering at Sarah's nonprofit. I want to give back and help others who are in situations like mine. It's incredibly rewarding, and it reminds me of how far I've come. I'm still healing, but I'm getting stronger every day. Thank you, Reddit, for giving me a platform to share my story and for the overwhelming support. I'll keep you updated as I continue on this journey. For anyone out there going through a tough time, please don't give up. There's hope, and there are people who care. You're not alone. Update 2, Building a New Life. Hey, Reddit. It's been a few more months, and I wanted to share another update with you all. So much has changed since my last post, and I'm incredibly grateful for the support and encouragement from this community. My job at the design firm is going great. I've been working hard, learning a lot, and even taking on more responsibilities. My boss has noticed my dedication and recently gave me a raise and a promotion to a mid-level designer position. This means I can finally start looking for my own apartment. I found a small studio apartment that's affordable and close to my job. It's not much, but it's mine, and it feels like a huge step towards independence and stability. Moving in was an emotional experience. I cried tears of joy the first night I spent in my own space. After everything I've been through, having a place to call home is a dream come true. I've also made some amazing friends at work and through volunteering at Sarah's nonprofit. These people have become my new family, offering me the love and support I never got from my biological family. We've had game nights, movie marathons, and even a small celebration for my promotion. It feels incredible to be surrounded by people who genuinely care about me. Therapy has been a crucial part of my healing journey. My therapist has helped me work through the trauma of my past and build healthier coping mechanisms. I'm learning to trust myself and others again. It's a slow process, but I'm making progress. Volunteering at Sarah's nonprofit has become a passion of mine. I've been able to share my story with others who are going through similar struggles, and it's been incredibly rewarding to see how my experiences can help and inspire others. We've organized workshops on job searching, resume building, and basic life skills. Seeing the impact we're making in people's lives is indescribable. One of the most important lessons I've learned is the importance of self-care. I've started practicing mindfulness and meditation, and I make sure to take time for myself every day, whether it's reading a book, going for a walk, or simply enjoying a cup of tea. Taking care of my mental and physical health has become a priority, and it's made a huge difference in my overall well-being. I've also reconnected with some extended family members who weren't aware of what I was going through. They've been supportive and understanding, and it's nice to have some family ties that aren't toxic. I'm taking things slow and setting boundaries to ensure my well-being. Looking back on where I was just a few months ago, I can hardly believe how far I've come. I was at rock bottom, living on the streets with no hope or direction. Now, I have a job, a home, and a support system that truly cares about me. I've learned that no matter how dark things may seem, there is always a way out. It might not be easy, and it might take time,